In Chinese history, there is one question that has never truly been answered. Why a dynasty falls? We can explain that. Why a war breaks out? We can explain that too. We can even explain why certain eras rise toward greatness. But there is one question we have never been able to fully explain. Why the same chaos, the same poverty, the same suffering? And yet it was him who ended up changing the course of history. Liu Bang was still a minor local official in his 40s. Drinking, gambling, no one thought he'd amount to anything. Zhou Yuanzhang had it even worse. His parents and siblings all died in a famine. He wandered the streets begging for food, and eventually became a monk, because he had nowhere else to go. People in similar situations. There were tens of millions of them in that era. Most of them simply lived out their lives and disappeared. These two men ended up changing the entire course of the world they lived in. How? Let's start with Zhou Yuanzhang. Those years of begging weren't just about hunger. He watched his parents and siblings die, one after another. Not in battle, not from illness, from starvation. The land was still there. Crops had grown before. So why were so many people simply unable to survive? Most people in his situation were thinking, how do I stay alive? Zhou Yuanzhang went one step further. Why are so many people unable to stay alive? That one extra step made all the difference. How do I survive? Is a question about yourself. Why can't so many people survive? That's already a question about the world. For a rare few, when suffering grows too large to explain with personal experience alone, they start asking bigger questions. What those years really gave Zhou Yuanzhang wasn't the ability to endure hardship. It was a pair of eyes that could see a much larger problem. But here's something important to be clear about. Great famines didn't happen only once in Chinese history. The end of the Yuan dynasty, the end of the Han, the end of the Ming. Every time, countless people went through the same suffering. Or worse, suffering alone does not produce heroes. It simply poses a question to a rare few, a question that most people never continued to pursue. Liu Bang's story offers a different angle. When he was still a local official in Pei County, he once escorted prisoners through Xianyang and caught a glimpse of the first emperor's procession from a distance. Banners as far as the eye could see, the entire city making way for one man. He stood there in the crowd and said, "A true man should be like this." People have always read that as an ambition, but what's more worth noticing is something else entirely. In that moment, he realized for the first time, a person can actually reach that high. Before that day, Liu Bang's world was just his small county. In that moment, something cracked open in how he understood what was possible. Most people have moments like this. They encounter someone with a much bigger perspective, or touch a world far larger than their own, and their first instinct is to pull back. That's not something someone like me should be thinking about. Liu Bang didn't pull back. He let that larger world actually enter his thinking. And after that, while others were content being local officials, Liu Bang had already started wondering, why does one person have the power to make the whole world obey? Zhou Yuanzhang joined the rebel army, not because he already had some grand vision. He joined because he had no other options left. But the key isn't that he joined. It's what he was thinking afterward, while others were calculating who to follow to stay alive. Yuanzhang was already noticing. Why do some armies fall apart so quickly, while others keep drawing more and more people in? His question had shifted from who can I follow to survive to why are some people able to make others want to follow them? Liu Bang was the same way. Every situation pushed him toward a bigger question than the one before. And every time, he didn't shrink back. Later in history, people would see their courage. They would see their ambition. But before any of that had happened, what changed first was the boundary of what they were willing to think about. Ordinary people, how do I stay alive? Zhou Yuanzhang, why can so many people stay alive? Ordinary people, the emperor looks so powerful. Liu Bang, so a person can actually reach that. Ordinary people, how do I get out of this situation? Them, how far can this road actually go? But this doesn't mean that anyone who suffers enough or encounters a big enough reference point will naturally walk this path. They all lived in the same era. Changshan lit the flame of rebellion. Xiangwu changed the course of the war. But what Liu Bang ultimately changed was the entire world. 3 people, the same era, but the questions they kept asking were not the same. So, by now, we can explain a few things. Suffering gave them a sense of the larger problem. At the key moments, their understanding of what was possible was cracked open. In moments of crisis, they didn't shrink back into who they used to be. These are all factors we can analyze. But there's still one question that has no answer. Same suffering, same dead ends, same chaos. The people begging alongside Zhou Yuanzhang weren't only him. The people standing with Liu Bang on that street in Xianyang numbered in the thousands. They saw the same things. They went through the same experiences. But that one extra step, only a tiny number of people took it. Why? Maybe it came from something they were born with. Maybe from an experience that we today have no way of knowing. Or maybe both. We can't prove it either way. What we can say is this. In the same era, the same circumstances, there are always a rare few who take one more step than everyone else. History records the choices they made. What truly changed the direction of things may have been the questions they first started asking. The size of the question slowly determined how far they eventually went. Why was it him? History has given us part of the answer. The rest of it, perhaps no one will ever know.